Oh, welcome. Here we are, still in Taos. Landed in Taos a couple hours ago. And no offense to Taos, but I decided I did not want to stay here for the night. Uh, Beautiful town, looked around a little bit, but I've decided to do a VFR flight down to Santa Fe. Very short flight. This is a quick one, friends. And I was trying to think if I've ever posted a video of doing a VFR flight. I think I did a circuit around Pensacola. That may have been the last VFR flight I did. But the weather's just so nice that I decided, you know what, let's make a short video of a very short flight. It's only 54 miles. I mean, it'll almost be easier to drive there. But I don't have a car. I only have my TBM. So, and what a first world problem to have, right? You only have your $4 million airplane. You don't have a car. We're going to start up here and we're going to taxi out. Taking off from the same runway we landed on and headed down to Santa Fe, KSAF, Kilo Sierra Alpha Foxtrot, with an expectation of landing on runway 10. We'll set our main generator as part of our startup procedure and
TAWS system test.
battery.
Okay.
Activate fuel selector to auto, AP trim on. Get our lights going. Don't know how pushback's going to work because there's no ground control, but let's see what happens. In this sim, there's always the Shift P button. I'm going to take off on this runway right here. But let's see if there is pushback available, and I don't think there is. No, there's not. Well, this will also give us an opportunity to see what happens with that bug of the taxi ribbons following us around. Let's see. We'll find out. Set our altimeter 3002, and we're going to turn off our parking brake, and we're going to press Shift P for pushback. As you can see, I don't want to do, I need pushback. I mean, I probably could make that right turn, but I don't want my left wing to clip this building. So we'll take pushback with our Shift P button. Obviously, if we were at a towered airport, this wouldn't be an issue. We would just request pushback, but it's not an issue. So it's not an option right now. So, okay, we're getting pushback. That looks good. Now we got a little more maneuvering room. We'll order a stop to pushback at this point. Thank you, Gary. Yeah, you can stop pushing back now. Oh boy. Shift P. Well, now he's pushed us back onto the grass. I'm just going to push my parking brake to stop. Enough!
Warning, okay.
Please stop pushing back. Oh, look, somebody else landed. How do you stop pushback? This is another interesting problem. Zoom type manual. Stop reverting to auto. Yeah, it's interesting. I don't... there's little things that I don't... Okay, now they stopped. Well, anyway, we got to get up off the ground here now that he's pushed us onto the grass. You just got to try to make the best of it. We'll set our PFD. On our PFD home screen, we'll do nav source FMS. Already pre-programmed in just to let you see this very short flight. I mean, honestly, we could drive there. But we're not going to, because what fun would that be? Driving sucks. Actually, don't. I think I selected my cruising altitude 12,500 feet, so we'll set that. We're at 7,080 feet right now. That's how high this airport is. But we'll select 12,500 feet for our VFR cruising altitude. And select our vertical speed at 2,000 feet per minute. Pretty steep. But we are very light because we don't have or need much gas. We'll start our aux BP and we'll do our starter. Keep an eye here on our NG percent. Wait till it gets to 13, then we'll add some fuel to the engine. 12 and 13. Now we'll monitor this. NG percent once it gets to the green. And if you can hear the piano in the background, that's my daughter practicing. So consider that a little flight music. NG percent 42, 43, 44, 45. And in the green now. High idle. Good. That actually worked for once. Inertial separators on. Pitot heat on. 31 degrees out still. Warm. You can see this showing just 54.5 nautical miles to Santa Fe. We do have the ribbons. They want us to go left. No, that's silly. We should go right. Our checklist, startup checklist, fuel selector. We can deactivate our aux-PP now that we're going. Pressurized, pitot heat, inertial separator, AP setup, barometric pressure, altimeter good to go, AP trim, yaw damper. That'll come on. Actually, we'll activate that once we take off. Vertical speeds addressed. Lights are good to go. We'll do taxi now that we're going to go. Start taxiing. And flaps set for takeoff. All right. Let's start moving here. Turn off our parking brake. Okay, let's go. Let's get over to Santa Fe. Nothing against Taos. I love you, Taos. Never been there, but I love you. But I landed, I looked around, and you know, with COVID and everything, I felt like I'd seen all I could see of Taos. And I decided I didn't want to spend the night here. Maybe I couldn't find a good hotel. I don't know. I hope I don't get any complaints from the Taos Chamber of Commerce. I doubt it, because no one will ever see this. Or at least no one on the Taos Chamber of Commerce will ever see this. Okay, doing 9 knots right now. Nice, safe ground speed. Let's head over here. You see where we are right here? I'm going to go all the way down there, turn right, and get onto the runway for takeoff. Kind of wild to be doing a VFR flight, but I was thinking about the approach earlier. It's kind of hot in here. Let's turn that AC. Let's turn that AC on. That's better. Anyway, I was thinking about this approach into the airport today. It was just so pretty, so clear, such beautiful desert air. I said, you know what, I don't want to stay in Taos tonight. I loved it. It was very nice. We had a nice, I did not have any cocktails or anything, but I had a nice late lunch here in, early dinner maybe, here in Taos, New Mexico, but I just couldn't find a good hotel to stay at. So we're on our way now to Santa Fe. Should be there, gosh, I'd think within 20 minutes. 25 minutes maybe. It's one thing about the TBM, it knows how to move. Okay, doing 15 knots now. Ground speed's good. Here's our right turn. And I assume these blue things will screw up again, which isn't a big deal because I'll just deactivate them. And you know what, actually, let's go ahead and make sure we announce our taxi.
Kilo X-ray traffic Doppler November Tree 4 Tree Whiskey Bravo is taxiing to runway 22.
Okay, see us, here we are, turning.
Approaching runway 22.
And now we'll announce that we're headed out onto the runway. Departing south.
Kilo Sierra Kilo X-ray
Activate our
Doppler November Tree 4 Tree
landing
Whiskey
light and
Bravo
pulse lights.
taking off runway 22 departure to the south.
Okay, here we go. Make sure nobody's inbound. No one is. Okay. Looks good. Ran out of steam there a little bit, didn't we? Okay. Alright, here we go. Almost forgot. Last thing. VFD settings. Other VFD settings. Wind. Option 2. Back and back. Showing the winds coming from right around here. So a little bit of a crosswind, but not a big deal. Okay, let's gun it. Sink our heading bug, by the way. Numbers look stable. Full throttle. There's that stupid thing again. We'll disable that in a second. Airspeed's alive. Jesus. Yowzers! We're all over the place. Holy Moses, this was a wild takeoff. Oh, Jesus. Positive rate gear up. Flaps in. Trim. Rough air. Where this is coming from. Activate our yaw damper. Okay, looking good. Zoom out here. And let's get the most unpleasant part of this over. And that is turn off these goddamn navigation aids. Taxi ribbons off. Fly and save and back to business. Alright. Okay. Look at that gorge. Wow. Okay, gears up. Flaps are up. Deactivate our inertial separator. Vertical speed's good at 2,000 feet per minute. Man, we're going to be there in a blink of an eye. Go ahead and turn left. So we can begin to intercept that magenta line. I don't know what to attribute that kind of wild. Look at that gorge. I don't know what to attribute that wild takeoff to. Not sure what was going on with that. But it's still off the ground. And we're going to be in Santa Fe here in a flash. Tune Albuquerque Center 132.8. Press flight following.
Albuquerque Center, Docker, November
Activate now.
3 Whiskey Bravo is type Docker GBM 95 miles southwest of Kilo Sierra Kilo X-ray. Request flight following.
Turning left right now to intercept this magenta line.
November 3 Whiskey Bravo, Albuquerque Center. Squawk 3255.
Alright, we're going to level off here, 12,500. We're going to need to handle the ATC ourselves.
Squawk 3255, Docker 3 Whiskey Bravo.
255.
Air 3 Whiskey Bravo, radar contact 6 miles.
Okay, at least that still it does it. At least that's still automated. Should turn right here and intercept. There it goes. Beautiful country. And we're off. Whoops. Sorry. Acknowledge radar contact.
Copy Doppler Trey Whiskey Bravo.
Well, just like that, we're at our cruising altitude, VFR cruising altitude, and already only 12 minutes from our destination. That's pretty funny. VFR, man, I'm not used to it. There's other airplanes in the vicinity, as you can see, but they're all headed west to LA or Phoenix. Way, way above us. Look at the trees. Look at the trees. Do you realize that every single one of those trees is individually rendered? Good grief. Alright, let's get to Santa Fe. I gotta have someplace to stay tonight. Have a good meal. Find a good hotel. Little B&B maybe. I think I had an inkling of this when I flew over, or flew into Taos today. I was thinking to myself, that is really in the middle of nowhere. Anyway, you heard I said that our approach is into runway 10. I know that's weird because the winds at this point are coming from the west, but that's not the current winds that the sim showed at Santa Fe. They showed the winds from the east, so east-northeast if I recall. So, anyway, see what happens. But we're going to be there in 8 minutes. I mean, this may be one of the shortest flights I've taken yet. 12,500. Staying, as you can see here, let's look at the VFR map. These are dangerous. But, as you can also see, we're staying just west of them, continuing to fly south along this valley until we get to KSAF. I do have a VOR at Santa Fe, I see, which I really, really don't have the time or need to access, but I'm curious. KSAF VOR, what's the frequency, Kenneth? 110.6. Let's go ahead and enter that just for shits and giggles. Navcom, audio radios. 1106. Transfer that. VFD settings. Bearing 1. There it is. 38.6 nautical miles from Santa Fe. Very good. Alright, so. Man, we're going to be there in a flash. What is the airport elevation at Santa Fe? I wrote it down, but I forgot. Let's see. KSAF. KSAF. Santa Fe Muni. Airport diagram. Airport elevation. 6349. We're landing at runway 10, whose opposite heading is 28. That'll be important later. Expect to exit at Foxtrot 2 or Foxtrot 3. That's what I would imagine. Maybe the left turn and a right onto Foxtrot. Runway's long, no issues there. Okay, good. So we know the airport's at 6,900 feet, or whatever it is I just said, I forgot. SAF Muni. Airport elevation again. Whew, goodness. 28 miles from there right now. 6349, excuse me. There is a tower there, 119.5. This might be a good opportunity for us to try our, let's try something here. What did I say, 119.5? 1195. Swap that out. Tune nearest airport list. Remember, we're not IFR, so we can kind of do what we want. Not showing it on there yet. As an option. Okay, we're just going to stand by. Alright, okay, so we're just going to keep flying here. Beautiful. This is a nice little scenic flight to Santa Fe. These beautiful mountains off to our left. just 5 minutes now from the airport, so it'll be there in a flash. We're at 12,500. We know the airport's at 6,300, so 66,000 feet above the airport. Just by way of reference, airport is here, and here we actually have a diagram. We're landing at runway 10. That's this one. Okay, so I expect we'll fly. I'm going to do the same thing. Overfly the airport, make a right turn. Actually, you know what? I like to do left. I like to do left faces. So I actually think I like to do left traffic. So I think I will not overfly the airport. I'll actually turn right before we get there. But before we do that, why don't we go ahead and see if we can get a hold of the tower. This is the Wild West aspect of VFR flying, and it definitely is. There it is, Santa Fe Muni, KSAF.
Santa Fe Tower, Docker, November 34 Trey Whiskey Bravo is 19 miles north with Charlie
19 miles
left.
north. Let's slow us down.
Air November 34 Trey Whiskey Bravo, Santa Fe Tower. Make left downwind runway 10.
Left downwind, just as I suspected.
0.00, wind 354 at 5.
354 at 5. Winds are out of the north. Interesting.
Enter left downwind runway 10 Docker, Trey Whiskey Bravo.
Okay, as I suspected, you heard me say I want to do a left downwind. Really, since we know the winds are, what they say, 354 at 5. Winds are out of the north, so I'm actually going to land on runway 33, not runway 10. What does that all mean? Well, runway 33 is this one. So what we'll do is we'll turn as we get closer to the airport this way, and then turn south. Runway 33 is 30 degrees off of north, so we'll hit 30 degrees off of south, which is 150. Turn this way. That's a left downwind. Airport's off to our left on our downwind. Then we'll make another left and a final left. That all makes sense. Okay, we're doing well. Everything's good. Showing us 16 miles, 16.8 nautical miles from the VOR station. Weather does not require any anti-icing equipment to be activated. Outside air temperature is 18 degrees, for heaven's sakes. So anyway, as I was saying, when you fly VFR, in some ways it's very liberating because you're kind of on your own. I mean, you're trained, and there are limitations, obviously, what you're allowed to do in VFR flying. I'm going to keep our inertial separator activated at this point. You know, you have to fly at you can't fly above certain altitudes, and you have to always maintain visual contact with the ground and so forth. But you're a lot less dependent on ATC. You want to go up, you go up. You want to go down, you want to go down. You go down. You want to turn left, turn left. You want to turn right, turn right. We were expecting to land at runway 10, but the winds, as ATC mentioned, are 354 at 5, so out of the north. So it wouldn't make any sense to land on runway 10, which is to the east, if we know the winds to be coming from the north. It does make sense to land on runway 33, however, if the winds are 354. Basically want your runway heading to be as closely as possible aligned with the winds. And you see, if you notice this airport, it's got an asterisk runway layout. This runway this way, runway this way, runway this way. And as the winds would have it, my plan to originally come here were scuttled, so we're just going to fly this way. So go ahead and sit back and relax. It's a very short flight. Flying over the runway now, you can actually, or close to flying over the airport, this visual simulation, there's the airport. So we'll go ahead and make a slight right turn. Always keep in mind the runway heading opposite of whatever it is the runway you intend to land on. Runway 33 is the opposite of runway 33 is 15. It's just all a function of 180 degrees. Solar panels, I think. Interesting. What does that mean? Well, again, just by way of reminders, we're going this way. We know that our runway that's the one we're going to land on. So we're turning this way, and then we'll eventually make a left turn, and then another left, and then a final left. So we're getting ready to turn what's called downwind right now. And that downwind heading, as I mentioned, is 150. No reason to rush it. Looking good. Again, spatial awareness is just so important. We'll begin our descent as well. Take us down to 9,500. You can see here, zoom in a little bit. There's our runway right there. You can see this right now, we're headed kind of away from it. We want to be headed directly parallel to it. We know that course to be 150. So we'll continue making our left turn. Everything's good, going as planned right now. These VFR approaches are wild. Anyway, you can see, take a look. See, there's our runway. Here's us. So we're parallel to it right now, just going in the opposite direction. We're getting ready to make a left turn to what we call base. We need to just descend a little, lose a little more altitude. We're just 4 miles from the airport right now. It's back there. Can't really see it, but it's back there. We'll make a left turn for base. What should our base heading be? How do we know that? Well, again, this is all just a function of 90 degrees, off 90 degrees, off 90 degrees, whatever. We're at 150 is our heading right now, 149. Just use 150. 90 off of that is 060, showing us now 6 miles from the airport. But we shouldn't turn yet because we're still too high. So we'll bleed off a little more altitude, a little more speed. Go to flight idle here just to slow down some more for this lightning quick flight from Taos, New Mexico to Santa Fe. Probably going to be about 20 minutes in the air, maybe 35, 38 minutes video time. My point being that it would have been faster to drive. No, I don't mean that. I'm only kidding. Alright, so leveling out here at, I meant to say 9,500. Now is the adequate time to begin turning because I show us at 8.8 nautical miles from the airport. And we're roughly 3,000 feet above, 3,500 feet above ground level. So a left turn to 060, that'll be our left base. Let's check in, make sure we haven't missed anything on that. We haven't. That being our radio communications. Airspeed's good. Pick up a little speed here. And we'll make another left to our runway heading of 330. Basically, we're flying base right now. I don't ever want to turn right to runway heading just because of the possibility that we might overshoot it or undershoot it. Let's continue our descent now down to airport altitude, 6,900. Gives us a comfortable margin. There's the runway. And I can actually already see Vazis or Poppies. Continue making a slight left turn. As we did overshoot it just a little. We'll go through Gifley. Engine up a little bit. Gear. Inertial separator's already activated. Flaps. Lights. Already on. Fuel. Fuel's plenty. Wow. Way more gas than we need. And yaw dampers deactivated. Looking good. Final flaps here in a second. Reconfirm 3 in the green. Wind's coming straight at us, if you see here on the PFD. I'm glad we changed runways. Final flaps in a second. Deactivate autopilot. Seen some red there on the Vazis or Poppies, so we'll shallow out our descent rate slightly. Hop up and deploy final flaps. Watch that airspeed. 87. Looks good. Alright. Hold on. Keep an eye on that airspeed, man. God, the full flaps on this thing just turn it into an absolute pig. Come on. There you go, girl. Settle down. There you go. Come on. Love my 3 Whiskey Bravo. Don't want anything to happen to her. We got reds on the Vasi, so we're just a little too low. Such a challenge. There's white and red on the Vasis now. Good. Such a challenge keeping that airspeed up, man, when you're in full configuration for landing. It was smart to change our landing runway, though. It was. It wouldn't have made any sense to land on runway 10. Not with winds out of the north. Okay, we got whites on the Vasis now, so we're a little too high. That's good. I actually like it when it changes quickly like that, because it means that, well, I guess it means one of two things. Either I'm moving wildly up or down, or, more plausibly, I think in this situation, that we're just not that far off of our ideal 3-degree glide slope. 2-mile final, runway 33. Looking good. Lined up pretty solid. Red and white again on the Vasi. 500 AGL. Just verifying that 3 in the green again. Okay. 2 reds now. Red and white again. Parking's off to the right, you can see. Probably not going to need anything in the way of reverse thrusters right now. Those 2 white marks are the 1,000-foot markers on the left and right side of the center line. Runway 33 confirmed. sync there pretty fast. Idle. Come on, butter it. I'll take it.
Whiskey Bravo, contact ground on 121.7.
Interesting. Look at the slope and the runway ahead of us.
121.7 Docker Tree Whiskey Bravo.
Wow. That's pretty dramatic. It's like landing uphill. Make a right turn here. Get off this runway. Whoa. Good. Okay. I love the shadow of the airplane. Let's go ahead and stop here and check in with ground.
Runway 0220.
Before I cross any runways, let's just make sure we tune Santa Fe ground and taxi to parking. Clean up our airplane flaps in. And landing lights off to taxi, pulse lights off. So we're going to cross. We're on Foxtrot right now. What the? Oh! I turned off those goddamn ribbons. Navigation needs. Let's see. This should not be. This shouldn't refer back to our old airport. This should be applicable here. There we go. Okay. All right. Always just take a gander left and right. Whoa! Holy Moses. Jesus Christ. A little aggressive with the rudder there. I was so busy looking out the windows. Is that a... Wait a minute. I'm sorry. I just have to point something out. Is that a windmill? Are you kidding me? This close to an airport? Good God. Anyway, I'll refrain from any further commentary. Alright, so here's our full flight. 37 minutes and 33 seconds right now, including setup, engine start, taxi, takeoff, full flight, landing, taxi to parking. That's a short flight. I can't believe there's a windmill that, or whatever you call those things. Why would you do that? That seems so recklessly indifferent to people's safety. Well, what do I know? Okay, let's go ahead and taxi over here. These rudder pedals seem especially sensitive today. I don't think I've adjusted their sensitivity. We could gas up, but we don't need to. Because we're done. I'm done. 2 flights today. Colorado to Taos. Sniffed around Taos a little bit. Got the hell out. Now we're in Santa Fe. I think there's a Four Seasons in Santa Fe. Maybe that was my ulterior motive. Alright. I think Georgia O'Keeffe lived here too. I love her art. Alright. Let's taxi in here. There's Gary. I see him. I love the shadow. You can actually see the rudder move. Wow. The shadow of the rudder. That is cool. I gotta stop being so distracted by the graphics though. I'm gonna get myself killed. Okay. Let's turn left here. And left again. Let's make this a nice wide turn. There's Gary. Bingo. Done. Parking brake engaged. Inertial separator deactivated. Throttle Fuel valve. Depressurize. And take care of the rest of this. Fuel selector. Turn off our remaining lights. Acknowledge final master alarm, master caution. And I think we're done. 32 degrees here. Boy, it's warm. I'll have to check that. Okay, that's it. That's it. 2 flights in one day. I'm tired. But this was fun. Take our usual outside look. Wow, that's pretty. Damn. There's another one of our. That's not a TBM. That looks like a Pilatus. I think it's a Pilatus. Anyway, there we are. Beautiful desert sunset. And cars and people and a place to have a wonderful dinner and a hotel to sleep in. It's nice. That's it. Good night.